Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. Today I want to talk about Tom Brady going to the Dallas Cowboys and whether I think it can happen, what that would mean for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, and the rest of the NFL. So yeah, let's just begin. And the reason why I had this idea today is Colin Cowherd mentioned it on his TV show. So he starts off talking about whether Tom Brady looks like he fits in a uniform.
Am I nuts if Dak isn't going to budge? I mean, the word is he wants over $35 million. That looks right.
That looks wrong. That looks wrong, Kyle. That looks all wrong. I mean,
this is one of his weaker arguments because I can make any argument fit like that. It's kind of like me saying to you, do I look like somebody would lie to you? Do I look like somebody would do that? You know, that's a really weak argument. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling thing. I'm not sure the exact political science term or persuasion term that is. I don't know. But, you know, he says, does Tom Brady look good in a Raiders uniform, a Titans uniform, which he did look good in? And does he even look good in a Miami Dolphins uniform? He didn't look good in that one. But he's like, oh, look, it fit with the Dallas Cowboys. And I think, it's like LeBron James to the Lakers. It's like Alex Rodriguez to the Yankees. It's like Kevin Durant to the Golden State Warriors. It's a big move, and I think it'd be a interesting thing. But here's why I don't think it's going to happen. First of all, Tom Brady isn't really that good anymore. Now, if you look at Mike McCarthy, he may look at Tom Brady like, oh, you know, we can fix him. But Kellen Moore on that staff as well, it's going to be a tough fitting. You know, Kellen Moore is 10 years younger than Tom Brady. He's closer to Tua Tagovailoa than he is to Tom Brady in age, which is rough. Can Tom Brady trust a guy like Kellen Moore? Can he trust the coaching staff in Dallas to teach him? It'd be a big leap. It'd be a totally different change, and he'd have to be down for it. But with the TB12 brand, he may focus to let's be a little bit of flexibility. We can thrive in any environment. He may try to switch his brand to that sort of thing rather than lasting for a long time. He'd be like, let's thrive in a different environment. But when it comes down to it, Bill Belichick kept Josh McDaniels, and I think that he's familiar with that area. His kids are in that area. So Tom Brady would lean towards staying. Dante Scarnecchia has retired as the Patriots offensive line coach. The Dallas Cowboys did lose offensive line coach Mark Colombo, so either option is not great for him. He's going to struggle with the offensive line, and you may see it be like, Dallas is a top 5 offensive line. Well, Lyle Collins is hurt. A bunch of guys, Zach Martin, they're getting older now, and it's going to start weighing on them, I think. They're not going to be as athletic. They haven't really done a good job in getting younger players on this offensive line. They tried getting skill guys. They tried drafting running backs and wide receivers rather than offensive linemen. And I think when it looks at it, Tyron Smith, he's getting old now. They're perennially injured, it feels like now. It's going to be rough for Tom Brady to join them. And yeah, so I think it would be interesting because if you look at it in this division, I don't want the Giants playing Tom Brady. Give me your team. There are 32 teams in the league, and I'm pretty sure you ask 27 different teams, and you know they'd be like, yeah, I want Tom Brady over my current quarterback. The only teams would be like the Seattle Seahawks, Kansas City Chiefs, maybe the Baltimore Ravens, but even then, I'm like, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, who do you want? And that sort of thing. So Tom Brady would be an upgrade over a lot of situations. It'd be very interesting with the Dallas Cowboys. It'd be a big move. So what would this mean for Dak Prescott? Where would he go? And yeah, so Dak Prescott, he may go now that there's a huge contract dispute with the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're looking to franchise tag him. They're trying to see if he's going to be a top 2 quarterback in this division, which is what Colin Cowherd said. You want to be a top quarterback in your division. Who would they get in replacement if it wasn't for Tom Brady? Who are they going to bring in? Jameis Winston? Ryan Tannehill? You know, the grass isn't always greener. You know, we look at a different quarterback, and sometimes you're looking at a team like, oh, that quarterback is great. But when you have him, it's like, oh, yeah, that wasn't really that great. I don't really believe in him that much. And that is a concern for the Dallas Cowboys. Who would you bring in? Would you bring in Tom Brady for a year and then draft a quarterback? Or would you still draft a quarterback behind Dak Prescott to make sure he's the real deal? And yeah, so Dak Prescott, where can he go to? I think the number one option is the Los Angeles Chargers. Like 3 or 4 teams I can see a legitimate possibility. Number 1 is the Los Angeles Chargers. You have a decent enough offensive line. And if you get Dak Prescott, don't have to trade for him. Draft a left tackle, Andrew Thomas, at number 6. And you'd be fine. I think they would sign Dak Prescott to a 3 or 4 year deal extension, and maybe be able to get some assets, maybe trade back with a team that's looking for a quarterback like Jordan Love or Justin Herbert at that point. So I think the Chargers would be a good landing spot. It feels like this team was not really motivated towards the end of the year because it's like same old with Phillip Rivers. With Dak Prescott, you have a little bit of a bump. He has a high touchdown to interception ratio. He has a high completion percentage. He can do all of that. Anthony Lynn would be able to work him in with the running backs Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler, and I think that'd be a pretty good idea for Dak Prescott. Number 2, surprisingly, would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is not a ranking, by the way. Probably a heavy ranking, but with Bruce Arians, he doesn't want to teach a new quarterback his new system. And he used to guys with really strong arms. But, if he just realized he really hates Jameis Winston, you're telling me he's not going to want to bring in a guy like Dak Prescott and coach him up? This is a very low option. I'd probably have it around a 0.2% chance. But he can get frustrated with Jameis Winston. With the comments he made, I wouldn't be surprised if he tests his options here. You'd have to cut bait with Jameis Winston right away. But I think that Tampa Bay ends up franchise tagging Jameis Winston, paying him $28 million a year, and probably drafting a quarterback in the later rounds or even as early as the first round. But that definitely is an option in Tampa Bay. Next would be the Carolina Panthers. You could say that the Dallas Cowboys selected Mike McCarthy instead of Matt Rule rejecting the Dallas Cowboys. But I think that Dak Prescott and Matt Rule were never going to be a thing. I think that if you take a look at it, he's going to choose Cam Newton or he's going to go in the draft. And that's what a bunch of teams are going to think. Teams like the Tennessee Titans are going to think, you know what, let's get in a quarterback in the draft. Or let's bring in a guy and then draft another quarterback. They're going to look at the pros and cons. I'm not going to pay a guy 4 years, $35 million a year. I'm not sure what he brings to the table. Dak Prescott doesn't really have that many connections in this league where it's just like, oh yeah, I'll bring him in. The only connection he has is Jason Garrett, and he's on the Giants. If you take a look at the Colts, plays in a dome. Really, you think he's that much better than Jacoby Brissett? You think that they're not going to draft a Jordan Love, trade up, get their guy for the future on a cheap deal with that roster that they have now? I think that that's a legitimate possibility for the Colts as well, but come on. Well, let's be realistic here. I think that Matt Rule with the Carolina Panthers, he'd be an interesting fit for this team because Matt Rule does like to do a lot of out of the backfield type passes. I read an article on him, and it looks like Dak Prescott would fit in a scheme like what Matt Rule would like, but Matt Rule is from Baylor. He's from Baylor, and he didn't choose the Dallas Cowboys to work with Dak Prescott. He didn't speak highly of Dak Prescott. He didn't do any of that. The next choice would be the Las Vegas Raiders in the same division as the Chargers. But if you look at it, not much of an upgrade. Not much of an upgrade whatsoever. Derek Carr and Dak Prescott are virtually the same guy. Dink and dunk, high completion percentage, low touchdown interception ratio. Put up a lot of stats, and they're good enough, but they're probably not elite. They'll probably never be considered elite or top 5 in the league. They will be considered that for a couple years, may have like a top 3 or 4 MVP season, but overall, just solid quarterbacks. Not great, not bad. So the Raiders are definitely on that list, but having Dak Prescott instead of bringing in Tom Brady or somebody else like that seemed like a little bit of a dud this year. So another team that I think could bring in a quarterback like Dak Prescott is the Tennessee Titans, but they already have a guy like Ryan Tannehill. It's not much like Dak Prescott, his best season wasn't as good as what Ryan Tannehill did last season. He command more money, but he's from that area, so I can't rule it out completely. But the familiarity with Ryan Tannehill would be much of a better option than Dak Prescott. Dak is used to having a guy like Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry, same guy. But you'd pay Derrick Henry, $17 million a year, and Dak Prescott $35 million a year. So it's $52 million, and you didn't even get to any of your wide receivers yet. You didn't even get to any of your safeties or corners that you're trying to maintain. Bayard, Malcolm Butler, all those guys that you're trying to maintain. Plus, I think there's a defensive lineman that they're trying to maintain too, Lewis or something like that. So that's not really going to be a smart option for the Tennessee Titans to bring him in. Overall, there's a very small market for Dak Prescott. It's very thin. Let me know where you guys think Dak Prescott can land if he doesn't end up playing with the Dallas Cowboys. Let me know where you think Tom Brady, whether you think Tom Brady would work in Dallas or not, whether you think he will join Dallas or not, and whether you think it's a good idea for the league and what that would mean for the rest of the NFL. Honestly, with my Giants, that'd be rough. That'd be really rough. Like, in this division, Carson Wentz and Tom Brady, I'm like, come on. We thought, Dak Prescott wasn't amazing. He did beat us, but he wasn't amazing. He didn't have that persona like Tom Brady. That'd be really interesting to see whether we can beat Tom Brady or not. We'd have to face him twice a year. It was already enough facing him every 4 years and twice in the Super Bowl. But again, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think of my opinions. Let me know your own opinions, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.